Tea Time, Midlife Edition. It's not a coffee break, it's tea time. Slow down, relax. It's your turn. Welcome. Welcome to Tea Time Midlife Edition. I'm your host, Regina Young, and today's guest is Laurie Gerber. Hello, Laurie. How are you?
I am excellent today. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited because our topic today is, are you ready to date like you mean it? but wait a minute before you get started. What kind of tea are you drinking?
Check it out. Isn't it so pretty? And it matches both of our outfits. And I even brought the box here. Not that I am selling tea, but it is elderflower rose. And it is a cold brew because in New York today, it is in the 80s. And I do not have my AC on, or you wouldn't be able to hear me.
Got it.
This is my AC.
And why do you use elderberry?
I just like it.
Okay. Hey, that's a good enough reason.
I just like it. It's delightful. This is delightful. And it tastes like flowers. It tastes like eating flowers. So I'm sure it has some medicinal properties.
Right, it really does.
What attracted me.
Yeah, well, today I'm drinking turmeric ginger tea. And actually, that is really great for you. And we know in midlife, there is some properties that we need, like the benefits of reducing inflammation, boosting the immune system, and aiding in digestion. But ask your health and your doctor to make sure this fits in your regimen, because if it doesn't, that won't work. So, but just
strong medicine. It really can be.
It really can. And it may conflict with some medicine you already currently take it, and that's why you check. So, but I just want to introduce Laurie. Now, I know a little bit about Laurie. Laurie is a relationship expert. She is a leadership expert coach on love, and she's a TED Talk presenter. So a lot of good stuff. I'm sure there's more. That's just what I saw. So Laurie, please share a little more if you wish.
Thank you. I have been coaching people for 20 years, which means if you do the math, depending on when you're listening to this, it was right at the very beginning of coaching, period. So I've been around the block a bit. And then over the years, I have just been attracted to coaching people about love and dating because I think it's the most important thing, number one. And number two, it's a pain point for many people. And personally had a near divorce experience, healed my relationship personally using the coaching tools that I teach. And so got sort of an expertise around working with couples and relationships. And then that built, I guess, backwards to an expertise with daters. Was the coach of record at Match.com, did umpteen webinars for Match.com, Zeus, JDate, all these different dating sites. So really got my 10,000 hours of experience on daters, massive groups of daters online, as well as one-on-one coaching and small group coaching and couples coaching and all of that kind of stuff. So it now is really my love to coach people on love and dating, and specifically women in midlife, because I think that is such a sweet spot personally.
You are the right person for the job today. We need this conversation like 100%. Like, I'm gonna speak for myself. I am twice divorced and I own it all. That's right. I did that. That's what happened. Okay.
That's so healthy. You can't imagine that. There's like a gamut of people owning their divorce, and you're over here.
I'm way over here. Yeah, like I own it, and I still want my happy ever after.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
your I call it your last greatest love.
Exactly. Wow. Extraordinary. I just love that. Just last greatest love. Like, who knew? Wow. I have a question. Dating in midlife. What should we be looking out for? Because I know in the past, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was looking for my husband to have my kids and this and like all that. And now I'm in my midlife and I'm like, I barely survived that version. Okay, now what's this version?
Well, good news, it's easier.
Okay, good.
And it's simpler, especially if you're past menopause
Yeah,
and your kids are out of the
absolutely.
house, right? It really gets profoundly easier because you don't have to settle because you want to have children, right? And that whole business. And because maybe you're more secure in your career or maybe even retired because hopefully your kids are launched and you can really focus on yourself. That's why I love coaching women in their midlife because they finally want to focus on themselves. They finally have the time to focus on themselves.
True.
They finally understand what they don't want, and so there's a shot at sort of articulating what they do want and going for that. What to look for. This is what I'm going to tell you women are looking for. This is not my recommendation. This is just what is true. They're looking for companionship. They're looking for fun and adventure together. They're looking for best friendship. They're looking for a travel partner,
Yeah.
and they don't admit it, but I hope and want to say they're still looking for sexual and sensual pleasure and adventure. Nobody admits that. Some people don't care. I would put it on the list.
I'm with you. It's on the
Okay.
list.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
The other thing is I'm thinking, huh, what is the new term for modern dating? Because I don't think I know the definition anymore.
Texting.
What is it?
Texting.
Texting. I'm like, that is not a formula for communication. I'm sorry. I
Modern
need you to
dating.
talk to me.
I don't know a name for modern dating.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you the tagline I hear from a lot of women. Disappointing.
Yeah.
Is that what modern dating is called now?
Yeah. Kind of unfortunately, that is a thing. It's like you go online and you like put all your eggs in that basket, thinking that that meaningful conversation you had with that one person opened up an opening, and then you get off and you look back and he's still online. You're like, but you just got finished talking to me and it was quite meaningful. So how does that work?
Why are we not married?
Yes,
What happened?
exactly.
What did I do wrong? Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I think the question is, how's online dating working? Because I just literally saw something on TV that said like most profiles on online dating is like 70, not good and 30 real. Like the reason
Oh,
why
I
they,
see. You think they're mostly scams. That's what you're
yeah.
okay. I don't think that sounds like an accurate statistic.
And fairly,
70%.
probably not the exact
Now,
number.
if you're saying 70% there is some misrepresentation,
Yes.
that I would agree with.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. There you go.
That I
That's
would agree
accurate.
with. People are misrepresenting on dating sites. You're not imagining it.
Okay.
They are. And most people, women are generally lying about their pictures, their age. Men are lying about their marital status, their age, their height, very popular, and possibly employment status. So yes, you're gonna need to get off the sites very quickly and into a video chat, not a phone call, a video chat. You want to see their background. You want to see ask them to stand up. You want to see it.
Wow.
You want to see things very quickly to determine how much of a scam you are interacting with. And it also scares people off that are scamming, right? People who are really scamming want it to be easy. They want a bunch of texting, they want a bunch of emailing, they want to meet up, they want to have sex. So people, the worse your person, the more likely a request for a video chat will scare them off. If they are someone serious, they like your profile, they're attracted to your pictures, and they're earnestly looking for their person, they will agree to a 10-minute video chat. And you must say something like, hey, it's been lovely chatting with you. Few texts back and forth, not weeks and weeks of chats back and forth, few texts back and forth. This has been really nice getting to know you. You seem like an interesting person. Maybe we're a match. Would you mind hopping on a 10-minute video chat with me so we can see if there's chemistry? Boom. Take that canned response, ladies. Use it. Write it down. Put it in your Apple Notes. Cut and paste it. I hope you have to use that canned response over and over and over again, and you weed out almost every crap human by doing that.
Wow.
And then you narrow it down to the few that are actually interested in you, like your profile, like your picture, are earnestly dating to find their person, and are not too embarrassed by how they look, so will get on a video call with you.
Wow.
Boom.
I would have never thought about. I'm thinking I need at least a week of conversation. And, I'm just that was me. I don't know. And
A
then,
week is fine if you're covering substantive stuff.
okay,
I wouldn't go more than a week. What
okay.
I would try to do, it really is like advertising, right? When you've got their attention, you want to get as much information exchanged as possible. If that
Mm,
doesn't close the deal, and again, the way you close a deal for a video call is they like your pictures. So if your pictures are crap, folks, you're not going to get good, you're not going to get good candidates. Okay,
that's
so
fair.
they like your picture, they're not offended by anything you've said. The banter is good for a day to a week. You're now going to try to get them to a video chat. If they're like, I'm traveling for the next 2 weeks, I've got my kids with me. If they have some good reason they can't, fine. But it needs to move in that direction or else something is fishy.
Okay, got it. Right now, dating seems transactional. Am I reading that wrong? It just seems like, you know, I I call you, we do this. It's like tick for tat. It's not like a flow. Like I'm looking for a flow and I'm not coming across the flow. Am I missing something?
Well, I think you know that your beliefs influence what you experience. So if you are
Yeah,
thinking of it, I'm not talking to you necessarily personally,
yeah,
but
yes, I
if
get it. Yeah.
you who are listening think of it as transactional, you're going to be much more likely to experience it as transactional. Obviously, back in the day when we met in high school or college or at a job or at a bunny hop, like back in the day when we met in more quote unquote organic ways,
Yes,
things might have felt more organic.
yes.
We are online. The bulk of humans who are looking for another person, they're online. So that means that we are, just by virtue of that, slightly more disconnected than we would be if we were meeting in person out in the wild. So that may be leading to the feeling of transactional, but I challenge you to reclaim your ability to make something organic and friendly and kind and interesting and
Mm,
different and fun, because you can, and you certainly can. We proved it over COVID. You certainly can even do that online.
that's true. Fair to say. Yeah, COVID actually opened up a few things. I actually went on a couple dates during COVID and literally played Scrabble online with a glass of wine and a conversation. And it was just like, oh wow, this is kind of cool.
I mean,
No,
we're going to
different.
conduct business online completely. I think we can conduct love.
Could that as well.
Yeah.
So with vetting people, how do we do that fast? And I know it's a numbers game, so you got to keep it moving. So how do we do that?
Okay. So all my clients have a 3H chart. 3H chart. 3 H's: the head, the heart, and the hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
The head has criteria, the heart has criteria, and the hoo-ha, or as Match called it, the heat.
Okay, got
The
it.
heat has
Got
criteria.
it.
People have renamed that many different ways. You can call it chemistry, you can call it attraction. Your chemistry has a vote, your heart and your feelings have a vote, and your practical mind has a vote.
Okay.
For each person, those criteria will be different.
Huh.
But everybody has their specific criteria. For me, I wanted someone who was willing to live in New York. That is not for everybody. I
Yeah.
wanted to raise children in a particular way. That was going to rule out a lot of people. So you
Mm,
also have things that you want and things that you don't want that are based on your very specific lifestyle needs, what's important to you, what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel cared for, and what turns you on. So you're going to make your chart, and then every profile you start to engage with needs to hit all three. You got to think the person's cute.
huh.
You got to feel good about it, and it's got to make sense. Are they geographically desirable? Are they, politically desirable, or whatever it is that's important to you? And then your first few texts are to determine if any of your deal breaker criteria are a no-go. You find out they're a smoker, you find out they're an alcoholic, you find out they're still raising kids at home, you find out they have whatever,
Yeah.
some issue that you're not up for. That is your chance in that texting back and forth. Are you looking for long term? Are you just casually dating? Are you geographically flexible? Are you a smoker? Who'd you vote for? Anything that's
Yeah.
like the thing that's going to be an absolute no for you, get that out of the way in the texting. If the
Ah,
deal breakers are fine, and ask them vice versa. Do you have any deal breakers I should know about? Because I think you're cute and I like talking to you. No deal breakers either way. Cool. Let's have a video chat. That's where you see if there is actual chemistry.
got it.
Looking cute in a pic. I have the other day, one of my clients sent me 2 pictures. I was like, which guy are you interested in? She goes, it's the same guy. I go, what? But like, I could not believe how different he looked in each of the pictures. Okay. So don't tell me by looking at the pictures you think you have any idea of the human that you're going to see on the video chat. You have
That's
no
fair.
idea. And you still don't know what you're going to meet when you see them in person, because
Person in
some
person,
people's
yeah.
energy and swagger change how they look completely.
Got it.
There's
Wow.
stages of attraction. You need to be at least at a 6 out of 10 to have a in-person date. You're aiming for an 8 out of 10. And my clients have a very nerdy tracking system and journaling process after each date to keep them absolutely certain of whether or not a person is meeting their criteria, to also help inspire the other person to do the same, and to steer
Mm.
clear of deal breakers and get out before they get attached if a deal breaker is present.
Whoa.
I could go on and on. That is the short answer to how to.
No, but it's a pretty great answer. I mean, I'm really getting that you have to one know what you really want at this point in life and
Right.
be clear what fits, what doesn't fit, and if there's a real attraction, and not settle at this point. It is
Right.
truly about getting what you want. Yeah.
I do have one little piece of good news though regarding the criteria, because I do find this to be a trend that most women, their first take at their criteria is not their true criteria.
Mm,
They actually use what I call proxies or cliches. Like they think graduate degree means stimulating conversation, or they think
fair,
tall means
fair,
attractive,
fair.
or they think lives in New York means will live with me in New York, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
they think lives in Idaho means they won't move. Like they don't actually understand what it is they want. So I
Um,
there is a sense from what I'm saying that it's like you really have to know what you want, but sometimes you're wrong. Like sometimes it's just, you're really wrong as a because you're thinking in a cliche, or you're thinking that thing will supply the need you have. I'm
yes.
more interested in what's the need you have. You want to feel secure, you want to feel adored, you want to feel attracted, you want to live in New York, you want to, mesh your families together. What's the thing you want? So say
Wow.
the thing you want, don't say the thing you think is going to get you what you want
Yeah.
in your criteria.
Uh, that is a really good point because, yeah, I think getting past the label and getting to the source of where you really want to go or arrive at. I think, yeah, that's, I don't think in those terms. Of course, I slap a label down there. I've got a list. Look, I can go get it. Like that.
And men are sick of it, honestly, right? Like women complain about being objectified, but men are also objectified, right? We want them to be
Very true.
tall, we want them to be strong, we want them to have money, we want them to have a sort of blah 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 career.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like get a little deeper. Yes, that's fine. I understand why you think that is going to give you the feeling that you want to have, but just imagine if you could have the feeling you want to have after how many years you've been alone or been with assholes. Excuse me. Imagine that feeling comes in 5'6", or that feeling comes in not the look you thought you liked, or that feeling, or it comes with an artist, or it comes with someone who isn't college educated but
Yeah.
traveled the world. Like, come on, right? Like, just come
Yeah.
on. Or even isn't a Christian but loves your Christianity, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I met
Spiritual.
someone
Yeah.
of another religion and he
Yeah.
converted. I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
So instead of asking for what you think is going to get you how you want to feel, ask for how you want to feel
Got it. What
and
about
let.
I have a question because I get that once you get past your illusion, because it's from the past, I'm sure, um, that I asked the question, how do you prevent people from mirroring you? Because that happens. I get that a lot where they're actually mirroring me back to me. So I'm like, oh, we are such a match. Oh my gosh.
Right. Well, I
So that,
think mirroring is natural. Like I
okay.
think that is natural that we meld with each other and it is not necessarily harmful. But if you're worried about being led astray, if you're worried about being fooled or
Yes.
um scammed, there
Hmm.
are a lot of things you can do to protect against that on a lot of different levels. So on the very basic level, you can Google people and find out about them, see their presence in the world. If they don't have a presence in the world, that's a little fishy.
Got it.
Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you can do a background check. There are very inexpensive background checks, and I don't think that's a bad idea. Number three, you're going to meet in public for a very long time. You're not going anywhere alone with somebody. You're not giving anyone your financial information. You're not even giving out your real full name, address, and phone number until
Mm,
you are pretty well into getting to know someone.
yes.
And then the more you get to the one of the best ways in the first 3 dates, which is what I think it takes to really get to know someone, one of the best ways to get to know them is to do things with them beyond just a coffee or a meal.
Yeah.
Take a walk, do an activity, invite them to a service project, invite them to something artistic or sporty or whatever you like, nature, something where they are going to have to, first of all, where they walk side by side with you. So they're not
Hmm.
literally not mirroring you, right? You're just and where you're going to interact with other human beings and other things, dogs, babies, people,
That's
service
true.
providers, art. Like you need to see a person under a variety of different lenses to see what they're really like. It is way harder to fake it
Yeah.
if you're putting people in a different situation. And then the next layer is meeting their friends, meeting their family, meeting their, going to their work, like go doing the things of their life. If
Yeah.
their life seems like it's not accessible to you, they're married or have another
Ah,
girlfriend or are hiding something. If it
got it.
seems fishy, it is. Because
Mm,
somebody who wants to share their life and get to know someone, everything adds up. So if you're
that's fair.
suspicious and it doesn't add up, there's probably something you don't know.
That's fair to say.
Okay. So yes, mirroring happens, but you can the again, there's one more thing, right? If you set the context, we are going to be honest with each other because we're trying to see if we're a match. We're
Yeah,
not going to try to PR each other into a relationship.
fair.
So you tell the truth about yourself, you ask for the truth, you continue to give context like, hey, listen, no judgment. I'm curious about this. This is important to me for that reason. So you try to make it safe for a person to reveal themselves. Worst comes to worst, they had a therapy session and you're not a match.
Yes.
Honestly, like if you are a kind and graceful listener and you are a caring person
Yeah,
for other humans, that even if you're not a match with that person based on something they say, they still could have a nice time with you.
fair.
Makes
Fair.
sense, right? So
Fair
there's
to
a
say.
lot
Fair,
of ways
fair to
to
say.
try to get people to be themselves, starting with you be yourself.
Fair to say, yeah. And it may be an opportunity for a person to get heard. So they all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, you're a great listener. Unfortunately, we're not a match, but we can both clearly see by being honest with each other that that's not a match. Here recently, I've gone on a 12-hour date, which was amazing. I'm not even kidding. Amazing. Who knew it had to be that long? But but it actually worked from like brunch to hiking to was it Buster, Dave and Buster, and then ended up at a soccer game and then a live band.
Didn't you
Amazing.
feel like you learned a lot about that person?
Absolutely. And
Right.
then we realized we probably weren't really a great match. But was I left whole and complete? Yes. Was he left?
Yes, and
Absolutely.
you had a nice day and you didn't need to waste another one.
And I didn't need to waste now one more. Yeah. So why do you say that dating should be a team sport? I mean, like, I feel like I'm doing pretty good, but
I I think we all know that we're more accountable in a group.
oh,
Right?
fair,
My
fair.
joke is always like what you eat when you're alone versus what you eat when people are watching you. Like sorry, but we're vain, right? We care what other people think. So
Yeah,
we do better in a group where our friends are watching and making
yeah, that's true.
crystal clear sure that you're not fudging on your deal breakers,
Yeah,
that you are trying, that you are getting out there, that you are putting good pictures up, that you are all of it, right? Like your friends are, even if it's just about continuously taking great photos of you, literally, if
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
all your friends do,
Yeah.
that puts you at such an advantage over another dater.
Yeah.
So it is a team sport because you need the accountability, you need the cheering on when you get tired, you need the other set of eyes, and you need someone
True.
to be taking pictures of you all the time. Like pictures of you doing things you like, just you, full body shots, the whole thing. You can't just dig out old family photos and crop other people out of them. You need good
That's
pictures.
fair.
Keep
Yeah.
updating them. So buddy up, join a group. In my coaching program, it's a group because again, we need to be seen by our sisters and we need to be reminded. And we need to be able to watch each other to gather hope and learning.
Absolutely. So one of the questions I wanted to ask too as well, what advice would you give a person in midlife, like where they can meet people? Because a lot of people don't want to be online at midlife. That's not a thing, but I get it is a thing.
Everyone says they hate being online. And I say, if you needed a fancy dress for a life cycle event, you could go to the mall or you could just sit at home and hope someone drops a dress off at your house. Or you could ask your friends and go in their closets and they might have something that just happens to be the right size and color and fit and everything.
Yeah,
But you're crazy not to go to the mall. You're crazy not to go to a department store, and you're not
that's true.
offended at the department store that you have to go like this and sort and sort. And so you're really not, you're not like angry at every hanger you have to move because you understand there's
That's right.
10,000 things that you have to sort through before you find your 10 you're taken to the dressing room, before you find your 2 possibilities, before you pick your 1. And that is not the worst thing that ever happened. In fact, some people like shopping. Go figure.
That's a really great way of saying thinking about
Yeah.
it. I
So
never
where
thought about
can
that.
you find your person? The answer is anywhere and everywhere,
Mm,
literally anywhere and everywhere, because there's literally millions of single men, millions over 50. And you'd be crazy not to go online because they're sitting ducks for
yeah.
saying they're single, right? Like, so you don't have to. 'Cause I know people who met their person at a dance, on their block, on the street, at church.
At a
Cool.
coffee shop. Yeah,
Through a friend. Of course, all those. Of course, all those. Duh. Of course. Of course. Of
got
course.
it.
Check your closet first. You might have the dress. Right? Like, fine. But if you don't, you should simultaneously be shopping where millions of theoretically single people are hanging out and new ones coming every day. And if one more woman tells me, I see the same people and after they saw one person twice or 5 people twice, when there are millions of single men and thousands coming new every day,
That's
don't
true.
tell me there are none.
Yeah, it's our scarcity conversation, isn't
It's
it?
like saying you can't eat healthy in an airport. Like, come on.
That's fair to say. Oh my gosh. So, how can people get a hold of you? You are brilliant. I could clearly see you're going to get a call from me.
I'm
So,
passionate. I'm passionate about what I do.
uh,
Thank you.
I get that you're a love and dating expert because of just a conversation, literally conversation. And if you hear yourself in any of those areas that are, kind of holding you back, I just know that sometimes you just need help. You bumped your head against the wall about 5 to 50 times, and it's time to get to the bottom line. And that's where I'm at. So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah. LaurieGerber.com is the simplest, LaurieGerber.com. I have something for everybody, right? I have a lot of free content. I have a very low cost group coaching set up,
Mm,
a digital product. I have private coaching that's expensive, right? So I
yeah,
do the gamut. And it really is for you. I am especially good with people who have quote unquote tried everything, because that was me, right? Like, just, you have tried a lot, I've done a lot, I've worked really hard. I'm going to show you what you didn't do, right? Like, I'm going to praise you for everything you did do and cheer for that because it got you to where you are now, which is close to the finish line. But there are things that every woman overlooks. And that goes from resolving past stuff to literal tactics, like I shared today, to how to have tricky conversations, which you're going to have throughout dating and a relationship. So there's always a blind spot. The women who find me, there's always that last piece, and it's sometimes not as complicated as you think. Do avail yourself of something I offer if that is your struggle.
Wow, that is extraordinary. I really get that no matter where you are in the gamut, there's an opportunity here. There's a place of learning. There's even a place of putting your past and, put it behind you, because it's definitely in front of you right now and it's not giving you any room to move. And part of that. Yeah. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this conversation, and look forward to sharing it and spreading around. Just last thing, I would love to hear a success story. I always ask that because I always feel like that's always an opening that someone can.
It really is so fun. I'm just trying to think which one I want to share with you. This specific example of a woman I was working with in the last year, in her 60s, beautiful woman, still working on a divorce, smart, successful, like everything, everything everyone wishes they were. So bad at love, like so bad at love, like awful childhood experiences, awful teen experiences, horrible marriage, contentious divorce, out on the sites getting dates, but one dud after another, one unavailable man after another, one bleh after another. Okay. She's one of those who comes to me and goes, I've tried everything. I've done all the courses. I've read all the books. I've done all the meditations. I've done all the tinctures. I've done all I'm like, I'm sorry. There's a few things you haven't done. And they're probably the things you least want to do because you would have done them already if they were easy or low hanging fruit for you. And so we went one by one through what we call the hauntings, right? So one by one through the things that were still upsetting her about her life in her past. And we rewired her understanding of those scenarios that happened. And it was so interesting because she went from being someone who was abused, right? Who was regularly abused. When she started therapy, it was such a great story. She started therapy, all of a sudden, no more abuse. Just because she started therapy and started to care about herself and resonate differently. She came to me after years of therapy, years of course, years. She was like, I don't get abused anymore, but I'm still not finding available good men. I said, okay, well, let's take the therapy, like, let's take it a step deeper and really understand how you can take, full ownership of yourself as a woman. We did the rewiring of those few very haunting, upsetting experiences from her past. She really could own it all and take it all in. And you could tell she was different. She was like, oh, I've done something different now. I feel different. I think about myself differently. I think I deserve something different. Within 2 weeks of that, I would say, she finds this guy. We'll call him Greg, right? She finds Greg. She likes everything about him, except he's got some weight to lose, according to her, but he's willing, right? He's like, I'll go to your doctors. I'll do your diet. I'll do whatever. Okay. Right. But what she tells me a month or two in is I have never felt loved like this. Never. I have never felt loved like this. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I work with her on that theory, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I have never felt love like this. And I'll never go back to anything less than this. And I thought my work is done. Right. We don't know what's going to happen. I see women find their person all the time, but until everyone's dead, I don't know what's going to happen.
Fair to say.
As good as I can get is they found the love of their life. They are happy, secure, feel loved, feel something they never felt before. And it's going great. Right now, I think it's about 5 months at this point now, maybe. And they're going strong and she's learning. And it is like, she couldn't even imagine this existed when I met her. Years of therapy and work. So I'm so proud. I'm so proud of results like that. And that's just one story.
Oh my gosh. That is so great. That is literally an opening that she walked through.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I wish you well, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yay.
Cheers.
It's tea time. Midlife Edition.